South Africa's peaceful transition to democracy in 1994 will be remembered among the greatest political moments of the 20th century. It was, above all, a moment of conviction and hope. South Africans had come to believe in the power of resistance and activism, and they were optimistic that a better future was possible for all. In the decades since, however,
a large group of Gugulethu residents took to the streets.
Police are monitoring the situation.
Residents have protested.
Service delivery.
Yesterday, residents brought the township to a standstill.
They're calling on government.
the country has been beset with problems it never anticipated.
Police used the rubber bullets.
They accused the DA-led city of Joburg of turning a blind eye to their complaints over poor service delivery issues.
Corruption is very big in South Africa.
The most corrupt public servants.
Of corruption.
The continuing theme of corruption.
State capture and corruption have exacerbated the high levels of poverty millions of South Africans experience. And in many areas, basic service delivery has disintegrated. One of the fundamental failings of the country's democratic era has been a lack of accountability by duty bearers and those in power. In 2021, 3 civil society organizations, the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation, Accountability Lab South Africa, and the Public Service Accountability Monitor, came together. Through core funding from the European Union and the Social Justice Initiative, they created and implemented a project to undertake accountability work with community groups. The project was called Action for Accountability, or A4A, and it sought to hold government to account, to educate people on their rights, and to create a growing culture of community-based, citizen-led activism. This is the result of A4A's work. A4A was implemented in 4 diverse locations: in Lenasia, Mondeor, Finetown in Gauteng, and in Makhanda in the Eastern Cape. The areas were chosen so that the team could assess how accountability practices operated in different socio-economic environments. A4A looked at several issues in each community. Some were primary issues that required full accountability, while others were categorized as secondary issues, though they were just as important. In Lenasia, A4A called for accountability regarding a taxi rank that was unfinished, poorly maintained, and unopened.
The Lenasia taxi rank is situated in the heart of the CBD, adjacent to a municipal building and adjacent to our then railway that still worked. When we just established our team, and it was a team decision to say what would we handle first. And I must say, initially we looked at what were quick wins, what we were going to get answers on. And we learned very quickly there's nothing like a quick win. So the first project we thought was the Lenasia taxi upgrade project that a lot of money had gone into. And it was just taking very long for the project to complete. And we were fully aware that contractors kept on changing. And also through our own investigation and not just listening to people. There were going to be phases to improve the central business district, which we saw wasn't happening. And then you're listening to stakeholders in the community, the people living around there. There was no consultation where you were fixing the original rank that needed to be upgraded to move the taxis.
The team wanted the Johannesburg Development Agency to account for the poor value for money derived from the expenditure it incurred.
We realized how long it was taking to get answers from the entities responsible to fix.
This process was ultimately fruitful, and the taxi rank formally opened in 2021. A second, more complex matter involved perennial flooding at the Abu Asfat Bridge and along the edge of Klipspruit, which affected homes during the rainy season.
We had saw that the state of the road of the Abu Asfat Bridge that connects the two communities with the N12 and going into Soweto, we found there was like a big bump in the road. It was very uneven, so as you drove your car, you found the bump. And when we visibly inspected the road, we saw huge cracks in the road. So I think just natural human behavior, you thought the bridge is at risk. So we thought, okay, let's address that issue. Whether it was answers on the taxi rank and whether it was the bridge. And those are the two issues that we still continue to seek answers on, and we don't have all the information yet. I think for once people are seeing outside of the normal processes of counseling, counselors not getting information. Civil society, in its active citizenry, with a project that's coordinated and the partners associated with it, makes the difference. So accountability is extremely important, coupled with active citizenry. And the politicians and political parties should not feel threatened by organizations like this.
In the picturesque community of Mondeor, near the Klip-Riviersberg Nature Reserve, the unfinished installation of bulk water pipes left the area scarred with dangerous and unsightly trenches.
The biggest issue that we've been dealing with is the rainwater project, which is a water infrastructure project that has been incomplete for years. The entity that is accountable there has not been accounting and has not been responsive to the people in terms of why is the project laying incomplete.
After struggling to get answers from officials at Randwater and at Joburg Water, A4A went directly to the chair of the board at Randwater. This triggered progress on the matter at last.
The success in the water project is we are getting them to see us. We are getting action from them. They're at least coming to the party here and there. They're replying to our messages or they're contacting us. After we did our demonstration, people did come out and fix the problem. They did the maintenance they needed to. But I think a big success is trying to rally the people, trying to get our message out there.
The challenges in some areas is just no water. So you have people who days and days on end do not have water in their homes. And it's been caused by failing infrastructure, not enough water being able to be pumped into reservoirs. So it's a mismanagement at the utility level. So Rand Water, Joburg Water, City of Joburg, national government, they all need to account their role for where we are right now in terms of water. Johannesburg is the economic hub in our country, and vast parts of it are not getting sufficient water, and that is unacceptable. So linked to the failing infrastructure, of course, is mismanagement and corruption. And without us as citizens actioning or getting involved and making our voices known, this is going to get worse.
In Finetown, a state-of-the-art clinic stood unopened for several years due to administrative mismanagement. A4A focused its call for accountability on the MEC for Health in the Gauteng provincial government. To her credit, the MEC embraced the call, resolved the outstanding administrative issues, and opened the clinic in 2023.
A clinic like this in Finetown is so important to them. That caters all the services that they need, and it's nearer to them. It's just a walking distance from home. As you can see, the first house is just next to the gate there. So it is very important to them. As a facility manager of this clinic, I feel very proud to offer all the services that we're offering to them because they are needed. We know this is a community that most of the people are unemployed. They don't have money to go to further clinics. So this is the nearest to them, and we offer all the services that they need, and it makes me very proud. It is important for the communities to do those action campaigns to see. What I can say is most of us, we pass by, we drive by from these communities. We are not inside the community. Some of the things we do not understand what is really happening. So we hear like we've got water, we've got running water. And then somewhere around here, there are people who don't have running water. We don't know because we don't stay there. They don't have toilets. They don't have electricity. We don't stay there. We just see as we pass around the road, you see the lights are on. You don't even know how they got that light. Is it legal or illegal connections? So it is very important when they voice it out so that we understand, we know exactly what is happening. And by them standing up for themselves, they do get response. So it is important.
On June 2022, when we were just started the project, it was the priority from the community in Finetown in our public meeting. So they mentioned 3 things that they wanted the Action for Accountability to assist. It was the bridge, it was the clinic, it was the road. I think it's a victory to the school children, as now they feel free to go to school, coming back to school without fear.
Makhanda, an educational and cultural hub that is home to the prestigious Rhodes University and the National Arts Festival, has faced a crippling water crisis for many years.
The key issues in Makhanda is we have water supply, water quality, and water inconsistency issues. We have poor sanitation, even the infrastructure. Poor sanitation that is provided, and the infrastructure, too many leaks, both for water and for sanitation. Roads conditions are terrible, infrastructure-related problems. So those are the major issues, and there's illegal dumping, and then there's stray animals. So everywhere you go, you'll see a donkey in town, you'll see a cattle. When you wake up, I stay in town. When I wake up in the suburb, the cows are here. The work that we do requires that we educate the public to understand the importance of waste management, to understand the importance of bylaws, so that when they engage officials, they know that they can engage officials on bylaws. So those are the day-to-day service delivery issues that the civic members are working on.
A4A took up the accountability struggle with all levels of government, focusing on helping the community receive safe drinking water. In partnership with Rhodes University, regular testing of water samples ensured that early signs of unsafe water were quickly detected. At all 4 A4A sites, work on the ground was championed by community coordinators who worked closely with community groups called Civ Act teams.
It's an achievement itself to see that there's a group of people who are acting and acting out and really pushing the drive. Now, those people stayed in various communities. Those will be examples of the public participation and how valuable that process is.
Challenges that we've encountered, I think one of them is helplessness. Some people live in very difficult economic conditions and they have no hope, and they feel like that there's nothing that can be done to change their situations. So the A4A project encourages people to public participation, to attend ward meetings, to identify their problems and interact with their councillors in identifying and trying to find solutions for their problems.
These teams came together regularly through A4A's linking and learning platform. A People's Council was convened for Civ Act members, one in Johannesburg and one in Makhanda, to share their experiences and to network with each other. A4A also ran a Fundamentals of Social Accountability Monitoring training program, which educated community members on government systems and legislation, and project partners collaborated on an accountability toolkit, which will be used by activists and residents for many years to come.
Seeing the growth from being normal residents, gaining that opportunity to take part in local governance, acquiring the knowledge and putting that knowledge into practice, I think to us as a project all around that we should highlight as an achievement on its own. And we can already see the growth, personal growth in each of those individuals.
CivAct teams were empowered to make better use of so-called invited spaces. These are government-convened meetings which the CivAct teams attended to obtain answers and demand accountability. Under A4A's guidance, members went into these meetings with greater knowledge, allowing them to engage with confidence from an informed perspective. But A4A also established invented spaces where communities set the agenda themselves and were able to think openly about solutions to problems that affected them.
I think there is slow progress. There is a difference because now there are people, when you introduce a project of a small scale, because it's a small scale, you can't introduce it in a bigger scale. You have to start somewhere. So we've introduced a project and then people showed interest, others didn't respond. Now when they see the work, then they start reacting. So we need more mobilization of the people, more people to be more educated civically so that they are able to engage officials. And when you educate people, it's not only about the fight, it's being able to engage them honestly. Because sometimes officials can duck and dive using technical terms because they think people don't understand. But then if they realize that now the public knows these things, then they're able to be honest about what is happening and not happening.
It was through the invented spaces that A4A started to question the coalition crisis at the city of Johannesburg, and it became a key participant in the Joburg Crisis Alliance. Together with the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation, Defend Our Democracy, Organization Undoing Tax Abuse, and the Joburg Inner City Partnership, the Alliance called on the municipality to account for its deep and systemic problems. Among the many issues in the city, the 4-year closure of the Johannesburg City Library was taken on as a campaign. Led by the Johannesburg Heritage Foundation, A4A worked to demand that the library be reopened to the public. A4A included an activist media incubator too, which mentored aspiring journalists and provided them with the opportunity to develop a variety of skills.
I think that the most important achievements of the A4A project is actually going to the community and interviewing the people who are at the core, who are affected by these problems. And also publishing our stories has also been a positive highlight so that people can know the various challenges that they face. But we go to the communities, we do interviews, we publish stories, and we basically tell their side.
These writers regularly produced newsletters and press releases, and many have grown into competent community reporters. Data collectors, referred to as community frontline associates, were also trained to undertake surveys to gather community concerns and to measure impacts. A4A probed and asked the difficult questions that accountability requires. It dug for information and went to great lengths to extract data from government. The team also documented its experiences and developed research material and learning briefs to gain a better understanding of the accountability expected of duty bearers. An accountability handbook has been developed. A 3-year project, A4A culminated in its work at an accountability summit in 2024. The summit included an award ceremony at which A4A nominated and recognized integrity icons and duty bearers and civic leaders who demonstrated accountability and ethical leadership.
Accountability in the context of the public service is really about how transformative, responsible, and responsive the public service is to the needs of civil society and the people, and the opportunities made available to civil society and people to judge that and measure that for themselves.
We cannot rely on the present system to continue. If we do, I would say in less than 5 years, I don't think there'll be many cities or towns in South Africa that will have clean water.
We need people, we need activists on the ground who are galvanized in order to hold these leaders accountable. So it's not enough for us to wait on a hero who will come to save us from the situation that we find ourselves in.
The outcome is really that we leave behind a group of people who have the tools to continue to do accountability work once we are gone. And that is the outcome that we want. Yes, right now, it may seem like the opening of the clinic, the filling of potholes. Those are outcomes that are related to the issues we're taking up. But the real outcome is when this project is completed and when we exit this project, that we leave behind the skills that are needed by community members who are in our CIVAC teams to continue to do this work beyond the life of our project.
If we are lax and we do not work to better our South Africa, then nothing is going to work. We must understand our constitution. We must know our rights. We must know that there are procedures that can be taken in cases where there is a lack of service delivery. We must vote and we must take action. So the A4A project has taught me that as an ordinary resident of South Africa, that I can make a difference in my country.
Those who are in our activist media incubator part of this project, that they will continue to do media work to keep communities informed and to push the accountability advocacy beyond our time in the project.
The impact that this project has had now is to give people hope that in actual fact that you also have a role to play in this democracy and enjoying the fruits of this democracy.
Building a culture of accountability is a long-term project. It doesn't happen overnight, and its successes can often be difficult to measure. But A4A demonstrated that it's not impossible.
Through this project, we're able to show that we can, through active steps, through patience, through training, etc., we can actually receive positive results in holding leaders accountable.
Over the course of the project, communities started to see the benefits of knowing their rights and having the skills in place to demand these rights be met.
The project is very important because it upholds the rights in our constitution. It teaches us that we may have to be accountable and that we must take action in our various wards and not give up, and we must identify the service delivery challenges that we face.
One of the benefits of increased accountability is that it also fosters transparency. And with greater transparency, we also have a higher chance of public officials acting as they should or using resources and public funds as they should.
They watched government departments open taxi ranks and clinics, fill in potholes, repair broken pipes, offer explanations and answers, and commit to deadlines.
We need to move this country forward to promote a democracy that values justifications, that values responsiveness, that values transparency, so that we build a democracy that we can really be proud of.
South Africans would like to have a better service delivery and responsibility by the government for a better South Africa and for the citizens in the future.
And with every action, A4A inched closer to achieving its ultimate objective, leaving behind communities of people who understand and believe in the tools of accountability. who do this work themselves and who pass it on to others.
We are getting the ball rolling, so there's more in the future.
With every milestone achieved, no matter how small, South Africa's delicate flame of hope finds new life.